Have you ever visited a new church where they introduce you to the entire congregation? Yeah, me too. Hey everybody, welcome to The Art of Ministry. I'm Pastor Dave and I make videos all about how to do ministry well. So if that's helpful or interesting to you, please consider subscribing to the channel, like this video, and click the bell to turn on notifications. It helps me out a lot. So I'm an introvert, and even though I'm a pastor now, so I'm not really visiting new churches very often, in the past when I have visited new churches, I don't want to be introduced to the entire congregation. And most people feel the same way. Here's something I've learned over the years being a pastor. Visitors want to be anonymous to the group, but obvious to individuals. Most people who visit a church for the first time do not want the entire group's attention on them ever. But they do want individual people to come up to them and just give them a nice, warm greeting. They don't want to come to church and have nobody notice them, right? Then they're also probably not going to come back. But if the entire group is paying attention to them, then they're probably not going to come back. They want to be anonymous to the group, but obvious to the individuals in the church. Now, I'll admit that actually achieving that is not the simplest thing. Some churches have dedicated teams of greeters whose job is to welcome visitors, and that works well if you have enough people and volunteers to run a program like that. Even then, it doesn't always work well, and especially if you're a smaller church, that just might not be practical for you. So in that case, what I actually recommend is do what you can to train the entire congregation on how to welcome visitors and treat them in a way that's not going to scare them off, but it's also going to make them feel welcome. You can do this training with your session, your deacons, or some other team in the church, or you can even just tell the whole congregation, right? You could build it into part of a Sunday morning. It might feel a little bit awkward, but you could do it with a sense of humor and just teach the entire congregation, here's how we welcome visitors in a way that's actually welcoming and that won't scare them off. There are three main things that I would include in this training. And the first is just to remind people to pay attention. Pay attention and look for potentially new people. Coming to church on Sunday is not about us spending time with our friends, right? We should come and deliberately pay attention to new people. We should keep an eye out for them, and if we see someone we think might be new, that's a great opportunity to get out of our comfort zone and welcome them, because that's what our mission is about. A great tool to help with this actually is a church directory. So if you have a recent photo church directory, you can encourage everybody in your church to get theirs out, give one to them if they don't have it, and tell them to go through that directory and get familiar with all of the faces in it. They don't have to memorize every single name, but just get familiar with the faces if they're not already, so that when they come to church, it's easier for them to spot someone that they haven't seen before. Now, if you don't have a recent photo directory, then maybe now's a great time to work on that. Now, the third thing is really important and really helpful, and that is to teach your congregation what to actually say to a visitor when they are greeting them. I think the scariest part of going up and talking to someone who's new is just not knowing what to say. Because you're afraid, right? You're thinking, well, what if I go up to them and say, "Hi, are you new here?" And they say, "No, I've been coming for 3 years, Dave." Then you're like, I'm sorry. There's no recovery from that. So we don't want to say that, but we don't know what to say, so then we don't say anything, and then that's one less person who's welcoming them. So here's what you teach everyone to say, and you can memorize this yourself. "Hi, I can't remember if we've met before. I'm Dave." So first you say hi, and that's nice. Then you say, "I can't remember if we've met before." So you're sort of putting yourself in a vulnerable position. We've all felt like we couldn't remember if we've met someone before. So that kind of breaks the ice a bit. That's something we all have in common. And that way, if they have been coming for a while, maybe they even know who you are, at least you're admitting, "I just can't remember." They can relate to that, and they're not going to be upset. Then you follow up by introducing yourself so that they know your name and they know how to respond, right? If you say, "Hi, I can't remember if we've met," then they're like, "Oh, well, I think no." There's not an easy conversational segue from that. So you follow it up with, "I'm Dave," or your name, obviously not mine, and then they know how to respond. Oh, I'm so-and-so. Then they actually don't even have to answer whether you've met before. They can if they want to, but it's easy for them to continue in the conversation either way. So memorize, hi, I can't remember if we've met before, I'm Dave. Again, your name, not mine. If you want visitors to have a good experience at your church, try to keep them anonymous to the group. Do not introduce them in front of everybody, but try to make them obvious to the individual by training yourself and your congregation to pay attention, to get familiar with the church directory and the people in the church, and what to say when greeting new people. All right, I hope that's helpful. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.